Hello, welcome to another episode of Lessons for Life. If you're already weirded out by today's topic, understanding death, you would be even more weirded out if I told you that today is actually my 56th birthday. What a topic to talk about on one's birthday, right? Well, not quite. For me, the ability to understand death was something I was compelled to do when suddenly, after turning 50, 6 years ago, I was struck by a fatal illness that doctors had difficulty diagnosing and treating. So, the possibility of death was looming before me. And I had no choice but to understand death. So, in this situation, I realized that this is the best gift that I have received yet. Because understanding death helped me see life in a whole different perspective. And as a result, I am able to live life in the best possible way. And today, I think I am living my best life and continue to reinvent myself to live my best life yet. So, what occurred to me at that moment when I was faced with this problem or death looming before me? What occurred to me was that, first of all, while we all know our birth date, we cannot ever know our death time and date, right? Yet, the moment we are born, death is certain. We know that death is certain. And with each day that passes, we also know we are taking one step closer to death. Death is certain, and we are getting closer to it each and every day. Yet, we live each day as though there is no deadline. Deadline or death date, if you will. Yes, that's how carelessly we live life. And since we know, or if we ever stop to think about death and accept that we are indeed taking steps closer to death, and so is everyone else, perhaps we would value life more. That's what happened to me. I started valuing life more, and I started valuing everything. I was grateful for every little thing once I had accepted these two facts. First, the moment you're born, life is certain, and even though you do not know the exact time and date of your death, you are taking a step closer to death every single moment. Therefore, life cannot be taken for granted. It has to be lived purposefully and meaningfully, and we have to be grateful for everything that we have right now. When we take life for granted, before the realization that we are getting closer to death, that we are approaching death, and actually the possibility of death is looming before us every moment, okay? Life becomes more precious and valuable, and so does everything and everyone in this life. Events, experiences, things, people, animals. You begin to become grateful and appreciative of all these things, right? This is what happened to me. I don't know about other people, but this is what happened to me. And another thing that happened to me is that I realized that, or rather, I finally understood what Stephen Covey meant in his book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the habits is begin with the end in mind. And in this topic, he suggests that you take some time to sit down and introspect, reflect, and write your own eulogy. It is when you write your eulogy that you realize the most important things that you would like to achieve in this life. Nothing gives you more clarity than this exercise. I finally realized the value of this exercise. This book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, has been one of my favorite reads. I have 10 books which are an absolute must read for me, and this book is one of it. It's one of the top 3, if you will. Okay, so I finally understood this, and I actually carried out this exercise. Before, I have read this book at least 7 or 8 times, but when I read this book, I never actually did this exercise absolutely sincerely. I did it, but it was just an off-the-cuff kind of exercise for me. I did not do it deliberately, thinkingly, and with total clarity. But being at the brink of death helped me do this exercise very meaningfully. So part of understanding death was that you have to have clarity about what is it that you want to achieve in this life, even if there is only a few moments left, even if there was only a day left, even if there's only a few weeks or months left. You finally understand those meaningful things. And to add clarity to this further was my takeaway from Robin Sharma's book, right? So in his book, he suggests that you think about what would be those things that you would regret not doing the most if you were right now on your deathbed and you only had, I think he said 72 hours to live, 3 days. If you only had 3 days to live, what would be your worst regrets? What would you regret not doing the most? At that point of time, when I was faced with death, I was 50 years old, a mother to 2 adult children. One was already working, just started working, barely into her first few months of working. And my second had just started his undergraduate degree. So the first thing that came to mind was I would not be around to see them get married. I would not be around to see them have children. I would not be around to help them raise my grandchildren. I would not be around to be the person to listen to their problems. I would not be around to be the person who would offer them advice at their worst moments. And hence this channel, Lessons for Life. I am speaking my mind about all of my experiences, all of my challenges, all of my struggles, if not for anyone else. Of course, I've made it public and I hope many people would benefit from it. But most importantly, I am synthesizing my thoughts about life, my lessons for life, for my children. It is something that I'm leaving behind in case, even now, I am living life with the full awareness that with each day I am taking a step closer to death. And therefore, I want to continue to reinvent myself to be the best person. I want to restructure myself inside out. I want to live life in the best possible way. And I want to leave these discoveries as I learn them. I want to synthesize and I want to leave it out there, mainly for my children, but also for anyone else who is in need of this knowledge that I seek in response to the various challenges that I face. So understanding death is so important to live a better life. This is what I have discovered. So essentially, understanding life helps you understand that you have limited time in this life. So don't take life for granted. While you do know your birth date, you could never know your death date and time. And even though you do not know your death date and time, the fact remains that with each day lived, we are taking a step closer to our own death. Therefore, life cannot be taken for granted. Life is precious. So we have to live life joyfully, being grateful for everyone, everything, every event, every experience, instead of thinking that I would be happy if I had this, instead of living life in a state of want, in a state of being unhappy for the lack of something. Be grateful and be happy and live a joyous life with what I have right now. That is what I learned by understanding death. And the third thing that I understood is that all of us, with each day that we are awake, that we are still alive and still breathing, we are given an equal amount of one resource, and that is time. And it is so important that we need to use this time productively, effectively, resourcefully to live our best life. And we have to learn and grow, and we have to share and care, and we have to live with sincerity, building others up. And while we build others up, don't ever forget the most important person in your life, which is yourself. So learn to love yourself, and that is what I learned. I learned to love myself, and out of loving myself, I started learning and growing to become a better person. And I developed clarity on my goals. I learned how to live courageously, among other things. So if you like this video, please look out for more. There will be one video every week. Thank you for watching, and see you again real soon. Bye bye.